Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this morning for this new era in women's basketball. I have the pleasure and honor of introducing Coach Mac, Joanna Bernabei-McNamee, and her family. Happy to see Joe, her husband, and Luke and Caden in BC gear already. So that's off to a great start. But before I do that, I just want to say a couple words, and I want to thank a few people. First and foremost, I want to thank Father Leahy for his guidance and his leadership during this process. He was instrumental in trusting me. We didn't hire a search firm. He trusted me to do this, and we got it done, and his support and guidance throughout this process was instrumental. So thank you to Father Leahy. I also want to thank Jocelyn Fisher-Gates. I think Jocelyn is here. She's our senior women's administrator, but she did a lot of the legwork, and she had a baby 6 weeks ago. So she welcomed Dennis III, and despite that, she still, even when I wanted to keep her away, she kept calling and texting me all the time. So I want to thank her, and also thank Vaughn Williams for stepping up and helping out during this process as we got it going. Had a great administrative team, too, that helped throughout this process. Thank you. David Traynor, our VP of HR, he was very instrumental in helping us get this thing done and close. And also Father Tony Penna. He was very helpful in the process as well. So thank you to those guys as well. So when we made the change, I met with the team, and I won't share everything that the team said, but the one thing that mattered to me is we have to select a leader that is going to guide them and develop them and help them reach their potential. They all said to a person that they wanted to be better, they wanted to reach their full potential, and we wanted to find a leader that embodied that. And that's why we do this, for these young women right here in the first and second row to your right. That was the priority throughout this whole process. And one of the comments that they made to me was they wanted to be pushed, they wanted to be challenged, and they wanted to reach a new level. And I said to them that you have my word that I'm going to go out and we're going to find a coach who is going to do just that. Is going to push you, is going to help you grow on and off the court and reach your potential. And I can tell you 100% we secured that person in Joanna. The process was thorough. I didn't commit to how fast. I wanted to get it right, and we got it right. But what I wanted to do was find someone that gets it, understands our mission. Our mission is to develop young people academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually, and motivate and inspire. And that's what Joanna does. I wanted a winner. I wanted someone that has won at different levels, that has been successful, has seen it, done it, and understands it, what it takes to build a program. I also wanted someone that really has been in situations where they had to turn around a program. And that's what this situation is. And so that was important to me to have that experience, that you've seen it, you've done it, and you understand it. So that was important. And finally, I wanted a good person. I wanted a person that understands Boston College, understands what we're about, understands service, women and men for others, and gets it. And we're family here. And that was really important to me. And she can tell you a little bit more about herself, but that speaks volumes for the kind of family commitment that she has, and that was important. So without further ado, I want to introduce our 8th women's basketball coach, Coach Mac.
Well, first, I would like to thank Father Leahy, Martin Jarmond. Thank you to his search committee, particularly Jocelyn Fisher-Gates and Vaughn, for choosing me to be the next women's basketball coach here at BC. There are so many people that I want to extend thank yous to, and that first starts with Mark Benson and my team at the University of Albany. The winning that we shared and the memories that we made, I hold very close to my heart, and they were a big part of my success and my ability to get this position. I also want to thank my mentors in the business. The list goes on, but it starts with Brenda Fries, Jeff Walls, Mike Carey. I want to thank them for their friendship to me and their sound advice. My family and close friends, again, you don't get anywhere in life without a support system, and I'm fortunate enough to have a great one. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my wonderful husband, Joe, my awesome boys, Luke and Caden. They have given me an endless amount of love, support, and a really understanding of what this profession entails. And they've allowed me through that support to make this amazing opportunity in coaching dream a reality. So I thank you guys. Well, I am grateful, and my path to getting here is a little bit unique, so I'd like to share it just with you briefly. I started out as a young assistant, extremely eager, hardworking, with one goal in mind, to be a head basketball coach at the highest level. I worked tirelessly on a coaching fast track and found myself in my third season at Maryland, right here in Boston, getting a huge milestone for basketball, winning a national championship. And then about very shortly, I found out I was going to have my set of Irish twins that are before us. And immediately, my focus and my priorities changed, and I knew that family had to come first. So I took a raising kids sabbatical from the profession. And with that, I, didn't know what was going to be in my future. But it's funny how things come full circle and how you end up back sometimes. Here I am, back in the great city of Boston, where I won that national championship, and I'm going to get to conquer my new goals with the new team. But yet, my goals are still the same. And I got to, they got to align, and I'm going to achieve them, which is a great responsibility and honor that I'm excited about. I coached against Boston College in the era where they were a feared opponent in the ACC, Big East, and I think we all agree, and how lucky am I to work with an administration here that shares my passion for winning, that we want the area. This is a big area. There are many colleges, sports, there are many professional sports that fans can choose from. We all want BC women's basketball to be where women's basketball fans migrate. How do we do that? We have a great product that we put on the court every night. And how do we do that? Well, like I said, back in the day when I coached against Boston College, they had great leadership, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing, leading this program back to that success. And it's going to be a special building process. It's going to be one that starts with discipline, confidence, hard work, trust, most importantly, and a love for one another. Through that foundation, that brick by brick foundation, I believe we can get back to a successful in something that everyone here can be proud of. Our style is going to be up-tempo. Some things I envision is that we will be the most in-shape team in the ACC. We're going to be relentless rebounders. We're going to have a positive perseverance. And why we're going to do those things? Because those are three things: pushing, tempo because we're in great shape, rebounding, perseverance. Those are all things we have control over right now. We don't have to wait. Those are all within our control. So those are going to be the initial building blocks that we're going to start with. My staff and I are going to be committed to developing our current players and also recruiting the talent level that can compete in the ACC, which is the greatest women's basketball conference in the country right now. I was fortunate enough through the recruiting process to get to speak with some people on the Heights and get to know them a little bit. And one of the things that I was amazed with was how they hold themselves to a higher purpose, to really fulfill the Jesuit mission. It just had a profound effect on me. And it made me know that this was a place that I wanted my family, That was a big selling point. I know that this environment and what BC has can be a place where I can recruit top-level athletes that can help us win at the highest level. In this place, Boston College, it's amazing. Stunning campus. Stunning. We have an education that is world-renowned. We get to be in the great city of Boston, one of the greatest cities in the country. And I couldn't be more excited, and I'm eager, so eager to get started. Working with you guys, I'm pumped. I got to meet with the team briefly before coming and sitting down with you guys, and I know that the foundation that's here is going to be one that we can build upon. I'm also super thankful to have my family by my side, and I am thrilled to call Boston College my new home. Thank you.
With that, we'll open up Q&A. If you have a question, please raise your hand. The microphone to you.
Martin, this question's for you. Congratulations, Coach. Just quickly, was there a short list that you had in mind having the opportunity to have this search by yourself? Was there a short list? Was she on the short list? And how did you come to the conclusion that this was the best fit for Boston College?
Yes. So throughout the season, any athletic director, you try to have a list or an idea of what kind of personality, what kind of characteristics that you'd like to attract if for some reason, I say hit by a bus. If your coach was hit by a bus, what would you do? So I had a list, and then what we did was after we had that list, I actually asked Jocelyn and Vaughn to go back and just diversify it a little bit from the standpoint of, find someone that's won. I wanted someone that was a winner, that had consistent winning, and also someone that's been in situations where they had to turn something around. And so that was, every search is different, but that was very important to me for this one. And Joanna was on that list. And actually, her athletic director at Albany, Mark Benson, is a great friend of mine in the business. We both came through development. When I called him, and he said, I said, women's basketball. He said, oh, I know. He had this reaction, and I know Mark. And he said, oh, I'm not going to like this call. And he raved about her, and he had done a search a few years ago, and he said, you're going to really like her. She's really good. And so that was kind of the process. But yes, she was on there, and the more people I talked to, her name kept coming up. And that's kind of how also. The more people that know basketball and know the game, she's good. Her name just kept coming up, and it was kind of like right here, but you have to go through your process. And so by the time that we met, we had a great conversation. Our first time we talked was probably for about 2 hours. It was easy, and so it just went from there.
Coach, just to piggyback off of that, you talked about your experience. I believe BC upset Ohio State in that same tournament you guys won in 06. So to bring BC back to that kind of place where they're making NCAA tournaments or even the WNIT, what's the first step for you being here in Boston?
The first step is absolutely getting to know my players, current players, incoming freshmen. And then the second part of that is getting that belief and confidence instilled, because winning 100% is a mentality, and we're going to have it. And we're not going to settle for anything less than that. So we're going to get in great shape, and we're going to do it with trust and love, and we're going to hit it.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. You hit on it a bit in your opening statement, but what were the things that really attracted you to this job and to Boston College?
Honestly, when it's the best women's basketball conference in the country. That's exciting. But with that being said, you have to look at it and say, can we compete in that conference? And that's something that Boston College truly has. Like I said, it's stunning, world-renowned education. And on top of that, I loved the people when I met them. I like that they hold themselves to that higher standard and that accountability of service. And I know that I felt that. So then I envision, I'm sure, and that's what I talked to these ladies about earlier, I'm sure they felt that. That's why they chose here. And I know I can recruit top players that are going to choose this place for those same reasons. Because it's more than just about basketball at the end of the day. You have to develop women to be empowered and to be basically the Jesuit standard of living. And I'm excited that I get this opportunity, and I think that there is so much about this university that's very special, or about this college that's very special.
You talked about recruiting in the ACC. Knowing that you have experience all over the country and being known in the ACC by the coaches, how do you think your experience helps you with this position? Number one, and number two, how do you think the players will react to coming to play at Boston College now?
I think it helps me being familiar with the conference and the coaches in it, because it gives me, again, everything is a little bit about confidence. So it gives me that confidence to know what I'm going up against. And I also think the personability of myself, my staff, the people, we're going to be able to bring in nationally rated and regional, highly ranked players that will embrace Boston College with open arms.
A little more, Coach, on your style of play. You mentioned kind of running and gunning, what we can expect to see on the hardwood.
I didn't say run and gun. I said up-tempo. Running, and it's funny, I just said that to you guys, right? There's a difference. We will play fast eventually. You know, that's something that we're going to work toward. I don't have in my game plan, hey, the shot has to go up within the first 12 seconds of the shot clock, anything like that. But I want to play fast. My ideal brand of basketball is when you're putting your opponent on their heels. You're changing up your styles a little bit throughout the game defensively to where you keep them guessing and you're a little bit harder team to scout. So that's going to take some time. But I'm confident that my system is simple enough and fun and enjoyable to watch that we can start that change immediately.
A more personal question. You have coaches, staffs all over BC programs here to support you. What's that mean? Has this sunk in for you officially yet?
It's starting to sink in. It was really nice to get text messages from the different coaches on campus, and it was, you know, really held a close spot in my heart because I didn't expect that. So I heard from a lot of people, and then yesterday I was able to reach out to some alumni, and just to hear their enthusiasm, it was exciting. And I'm excited to just get to know everybody. It's a tight-knit family, and that's something that Martin and Jocelyn and Vaughn all talk about, is that it's a family here. And I'm clearly about family. And my players are my second family. And my family embraces, you know, hopefully you guys will embrace my kids as your little brothers. And they'll embrace you as their sisters that beat them up a little bit. Because that's what it's all about. So I'm excited about getting to know everybody.